Say hi to everybody. No, we're not live just yet.
You're live.
Yay! Hey guys, how are you doing? Look who's there. Laura is back.
I'm back.
All right, so welcome to another one of our live session, guys. We are stoked to have you on board. Today we are going to go through a lot of the questions that you sent us throughout the entire week, and we're going to take questions in the live chat. So if there is anything you want to know about traveling in New Zealand, make sure to actually pop them in the live chat. Make sure to say hi to us. We are basically here for you. So if you guys don't ask a question, we don't have much to talk about.
So what time are we here?
And speaking about when we're here, we're at those times. So it's usually 8 a.m. Sunday New Zealand time. And it means it's Saturday almost everywhere else in the world. And that's those times we're here. So in the USA, 3 p.m. EDT and 12 p.m. PDT. If you're in Europe, it's 9 p.m. And if you are in India or somewhere around that part of the world, it is right in the middle of the night at midnight. That's pretty much where you can find us and when you can find us.
Yeah, so if we are just meeting for the first time, this is Robin and I'm Laura, and we are the team behind BackpackerGuide.NZ, which is the largest travel guide for New Zealand. So if you guys have any questions about traveling around New Zealand, make sure that you ask them in the live chat, and we feel like we have some pretty good expertise to answer all those questions for you. We've been covering some questions throughout the week through the comment section on our various videos on YouTube and throughout our social media as well. So we have been taking things from Instagram, and our Instagram tag is at BackpackerGuide.NZ. We've been taking questions from Facebook. So again, just BackpackerGuide.NZ, and from, well, Twitter, but not many people seem to be using Twitter.
Nah.
So, but that's
also we don't know how to use Twitter.
Yeah.
So stick to Facebook. We know how to use that
Facebook and
one.
Instagram and YouTube as well.
And obviously the easiest way, because you guys are right here on YouTube, is to watch any videos that we have, and you put your questions just below in the comments. All right, just saying hi to the live chat. Hello, Shan Mystic Roblox. That's a
cool name.
That is a mouthful of a name. I like it. And hi, Sebastian. How are you doing? How are you guys doing? So Sebastian's asking where we're living. We're actually in Central North Island. Just under beautiful Mount Ruapehu and the beautiful Tongariro National Park. You know, that's where Mordor is. So basically, Laura is actually the secret double of Sauron. That's basically who she is.
And you're an orc. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, Natalia, how are you doing?
Hey, Natalia.
All right, so while you guys are getting warmed up a little bit with the questions, we're going to go through our first question that we actually received on YouTube. And I do really like this question. And because I do like it, I actually did prepare the board ready. Oh, sorry. But we got the board prepared to answer it, which is really cool. So on YouTube, Graham T99, is that how you pronounce Graham? Like
Graham.
Graham.
It's just a weird spelling for it, but yeah.
So on YouTube, Graham T99 asked, how far down New Zealand would the 60-hour InterCity bus pass get me starting from Auckland? I'm traveling north to south, starting in Auckland and ending around Milford Sound. But then I have to get back to Auckland for my flight home. Would I have to buy more hours, or would 60 hours be enough? Let's get started.
Yeah. It's time. Is it time for?
Yes, it's time for the map.
The famous map.
All right, so Graham, what I did right here is that I actually already put the dots of all the location that you'll be able to visit with your 60 hours, and so I can give you a few insights about all of that, and we just go through the whole map, basically telling you a little bit about all those things. Do you want me to get started? Or?
Yeah, go for it.
So I'll go down the north end. So as mentioned, you will be starting in Auckland. So if you buy a 60-hour InterCity pass, it's very easy to use. Now, it doesn't really time every single hour you spend on the bus, right? Every trip from one location to the other will be worth a certain amount of hours. So for example, and this is just an example right here, Auckland to Matamata, which is where Hobbiton is. For example, InterCity is going to judge that this is worth 2 hours, but the bus ride might be 3. It's totally fine. You just pay for 2 hours, right? But it's just kind of a way to judge currency, let's say.
Yeah, it's kind of like the InterCity currency.
Yeah, exactly.
It's through the hours. So it's not exactly literal hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So don't go on Google Maps, because we have some people that tell us, I went on Google Maps and I checked on how long is the drive. It's not going to be, you know, if you're 45-hour drive, that wouldn't be worth 45 hours. That may be more, that may be less.
Yeah.
All right, so you can go from Auckland to Matamata, so that's for like kind of the North Island. So Auckland to Hobbiton. Then after you can go to Rotorua, which is, well, I don't have to say anything about Rotorua. Like, it's an amazing adventure place.
Awesome geothermal activity, Maori culture, loads of different stuff to do there. Yeah,
exactly. Then you can get to Taupo, which is just on the edge of the New Zealand's largest lake. Absolutely amazing. I mean, we do love this place. It's really cool. Also, one of the cheapest skydive in the country. So if you want to do a bit of skydive, hit Skydive Taupo. Big shout out to Leo, which was here last week. Cool. Then if you want to, you can get yourself to Napier, which if you're into wines, or if you're into gannets, there's a gigantic gannet community, which is absolutely fantastic. So it's definitely worth visiting here. And then you can make your way down to Wellington, which is New Zealand's capital. A lot of cultures, a lot of awesome food and coffee. And then you take yourself the ferry and you head onto the South Island.
Without touching the black. There we go.
Look at that. Beautiful. Do you want me to keep going, Laura, or do you want to go for the South Islands?
Well, which direction?
I think you just do
So when you take the ferry from Wellington, you arrive in Picton on the South Island. Again, even Picton itself has a lot of amazing things to do, a lot of hikes and water activities, seeing dolphins. And then from Picton, you can start making your way.
I forgot to put
you forgot to put Nelson. So Nelson is the city which is sort of about an hour away from the Abel Tasman National Park, which is really famous for all its beautiful golden sand beaches and forest. So a lot of people do really love to check that place out. So you can go and do a day trip or a multi-day trip to the Abel Tasman National Park. And then from there, you can start making your way down the west coast of the South Island. Is this Greymouth?
Yeah.
So in Greymouth, there are loads of different hikes, a lot of history about the mining and stuff around in the area. And also they have an awesome beer brewery tour and like loads of different really funky things to do there. And then from there, you can make your way to the famous Franz Josef and Fox glaciers. And here you can do all your heli hikes, walking in glacier valleys and see some massive, big mountainous landscapes. And from there, you can... Is this going to Queenstown?
Yes.
Yeah, so from there you can head over to Queenstown, which I feel like a lot of people know by now. It is like the adrenaline capital of New Zealand. There's so many activities to do there, from skydiving, bungee jumping, zip lining, luge. The list is endless, but yeah, there's so much to do here. And one of the super popular trips you can do from Queenstown is head over to Milford Sound, which you can also, does InterCity do it via Great Sites?
Yeah, so you probably jump on the Great Sites.
Yeah, so if you do have your InterCity pass, you'll be able to book onto the Great Sites trip over to Milford Sound and then do a bit of a cruise and see the giant fjords. That is a must-do day trip from Queenstown.
Another day trip that you do. I mean, not day trip, but just back and forth.
Yeah, and another place that you can go back and forth from Queenstown is to Dunedin, and that's really awesome for some of its wildlife, especially on a little bit of land called the Otago Peninsula. You can see penguins, seals, sea lions. There's loads of different things you can go and see over there, and the architecture is pretty cool in Dunedin as well. So you'd head back from Dunedin to Queenstown and then start making your way up the South Island on the east coast, stopping by Mount Cook. And again, that is some awesome mountain scenery, lots of different hikes to do. If you didn't get a chance to do the glacier hikes on the west coast, you can definitely have another opportunity to do that on the east coast at Mount Cook. And then from there, you can head to Christchurch. And that's the largest city in the South Island. And again, lots of things to do. There's, lots of city tours. They have like lots of things about the earthquake and history surrounding that. So that's really interesting. So,
that's when I'm talking to you about the hours. Yeah. All right. So doing that, just the North Island right here will take you about 15 hours to do on your pass. And doing this whole loop right here, actually getting back up to Picton, doing the whole loop right here will take you about 45 hours. That's what it would cost. So right here, we are at the 60 hours mark, but you are finishing, on the North Island, on the South Island right here. And you say you want to finish in Auckland. So you got a couple of options right here. Either you decide to stop a little bit early, you stop in Christchurch, and then you book yourself a flight directly to Auckland. If you book early enough, if you're actually planning your trip, which it looks like you're doing, Graham, you will be able to get yourself on a website called Grab One, which allows you to get some like really good airfare for Air New Zealand, or you can go directly on the Jetstar website. So we only have 2 flight companies in New Zealand, so it's rather cheap. And so you'll be able to get that for about $59. Depending on how many bags you have, you may have to pay a little bit extra. So maybe like, you know, let's say 89. But basically, if you're early enough, it's going to be less than $100, and that will save you like a big drive. So that's one of the options. Another options would be to actually just decide to wipe out, for example, the Dunedin area and maybe the Napier area and go straight from Taupo down to Wellington. So you could be doing that, yeah, and you can just be crossing this one, for example. So with that, you will be saving a lot of hours, which may allow you to do a straight Wellington up to Auckland and not have to spend extra money at all. So that's one of the really good things about the InterCity kind of flexi pass. You can kind of play around with it. You're not stuck to. You don't have to stick to a route. Now, if you do have some extra money and you are willing to buy a few extra hours, maybe it'd be worth it to actually go here. You stop in Kaikoura, which has a lot of wildlife, which is really awesome. And then you drive all the way from here. So you explore this beautiful east coast of the North End, and that so little people are actually exploring. So yeah, west coast, my apology. You can explore this beautiful west coast of New Zealand. You can go to New Plymouth, which is really awesome. You can check out Mount Taranaki, and then you can make your way back up. And yeah, you have to avoid the Forgotten World Highway. I don't think you take that in the bus. But yeah, so you could be doing a bit of a variety right here if you're willing to spend the extra money. Now, I did check out, so to add those 2 things right here, you'll be down for an extra, about $100. Depending on exactly which route you want to do. So it's really up to you. Like again, the Flexi Pass for 60 hours is about $450. If you want to do the whole driving all around, if you have the time, that would be about $550. Or if you decide you don't have the time, you want to fly from here, that would be about the same price, about $550 as well, but you save yourself some time. So can you do all of the stuff that you want on your list with the 60 hours Flexi Pass with InterCity? Hell yes.
Definitely.
I mean, honestly, this is what we've done literally this morning on their website with the 60 hours. There's really heaps to do around there. We have heaps of videos about all those different places.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we have heaps of articles on BackpackerGuide.NZ about the Flexi Pass, about all different InterCity. So there is Flexi Trip and Flexi Pass. So you get 2 different types of passes. We explain all of that in depth. So check out the links that we're going to put in the description below. If you have any follow-up questions, in the comment below. If you guys find that useful, come on, give us a cheeky like. Everybody on the chat line now, can you click on the like button? That helps us out so much. That's pretty awesome. And so yeah, any extra questions, make sure to put them in the comments below. You can hide them up. All right, let me just say hi to the chat right here. Good morning, Anna. Welcome on board. Hey, Shanice, oh yeah, I remember you commented that you're from Nelson. That's pretty awesome. Who else do we have? Oh, Lizzie. Oh, Lizzie actually commented she's coming to New Zealand in like 11 days.
Oh,
so
nice.
She's literally like in packing.
So just asking how the weather is.
Yeah, all right, let's go through that. And then we're going to answer Asian's question about Christchurch. All right, so we go through Lizzie's question first, and then we go through Asian's question. So you guys stick around so we get to your questions. All right, Lizzie is asking on YouTube, what is the weather like in December in New Zealand? Honestly, pretty awesome today.
Good.
Now, if I have to talk about last week, pretty shy.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing with so December in New Zealand is the first month of summer, which of course you would think, oh yeah, it's going to be nice and sunny the whole time. But no matter what season or what month you come to New Zealand, the weather is going to be very different. So mostly the temperature is going to be good. It's going to be above 15 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit.
I have no idea.
So the temperatures like during the day is almost always going to be above 15, even going up to, we've had about up to 24 degrees Celsius so far in December this year. 15
Celsius is 59 Fahrenheit.
Oh yeah.
Keep going. So my temperature is right here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So temperature wise, December is really nice in New Zealand, but so far this month, we have had a real mix of weather. We've had like about a week of absolute downpour rain. We've had thunderstorms recently as well. Just a couple of days ago, we've had thunderstorms, but the last couple of days has been absolutely beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky, super sunny. So really, you do get a mixed bag of weather when it's December in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's definitely an Irish summer. That's definitely true. If you can compare it that way. So now, just to give you some typical temperatures, so you have kind of an idea. I'm going to go through. So on BackpackerGuide.NZ, we have an article called New Zealand's weather in December. So New Zealand weather in December, and we have one of those articles for every single month. But I'm just going to go through a few temperature and just to give you a rough idea of what you can expect in December. Now, in the northern New Zealand, that's Auckland, Northland, and Tauranga, let's say about 18 degrees Celsius, which is 64 Fahrenheit. Central Northland, that's going to be Hamilton, Taupo, Rotorua. We're going to go about like 15 degrees Celsius, which is 59 Fahrenheit. Southwest Northland, so we're talking about New Plymouth, Palmerston North, and Wellington. It's about 15 as well, which again is 59 Fahrenheit. Eastern Northland, I feel like I'm a weather guy.
Yeah.
on the eastern front of the Northland, about 18 Celsius, 64 Fahrenheit. Northern Southland, so we're heading to the Southland right now. Blenheim and Nelson, that's 17 degrees Celsius, about 62 Fahrenheit. Again, that's average temperature in the month of December. West South Island, that's Westport, Hokitika, Milford Sound, 15 Celsius, which is 59 Fahrenheit. Eastern South Island, we have in Kaikoura, Christchurch, Timaru, 16 degrees Celsius, 60 Fahrenheit. Inland South Island, that's Lake Tekapo, Queenstown, Alexandra, we're going to go around 14 Celsius, which is 57 Fahrenheit. And the southern New Zealand, which is Dunedin and Invercargill, is about the same. 14 Celsius and 57 Fahrenheit. Now, waterfall, like rainfalls, they're all over the place, right? Like from like Northland would be like 90 millimeters. I don't know in inches, but about 90 millimeters on average. But if you go to like the western Southland, which is like Westport, like the west coast of the Southland, it's super rainy. So the average range, and get me right, from 200 millimeters to 650 millimeters. So it's not even a range. It's like it's a wild grazing field right here. It's quite crazy. So definitely, if you come visiting in December, make sure that you pack your shorts because it can get really hot and really sunny, but make sure you also pack a rain jacket because it's New Zealand weather. It's definitely unpredictable.
Yeah.
So always layer things up. And pack some sunscreen as well. The UV index are pretty high. Yes,
definitely have some sunscreen. Yeah. And even on a cloudy day as well, definitely in December, make sure you have sunscreen on whenever you're going outdoors because it can the worst days for sunburn is on those cloudy days because you just don't see it coming. So sunscreen.
Yeah. Cool, perfect. So sunscreen and rain jacket, that's typical New Zealand. You make sure in the same bag you have sunscreen and rain jacket. All right, so that is it for the weather in December in New Zealand, the weather in December in New Zealand. Sorry about that. So again, BackpackerGuide.NZ, New Zealand weather in December. So if you click on travel tips, of course that doesn't work when you show it to people. Travel tips, backpackers advice, and then New Zealand weather. You've got every single month right here, and we even give you some few tips on what to pack as well. So
and we'll make sure to add the weather in December article in the description below in the broadcast after this live broadcast.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's it. Yeah. Cool. All right, what's happening on the live chat right now? Editha, go. Welcome on board. Happy to have you on board. The Rugby Lover 81. Welcome. You have been trying to join us in the live chat for a wee while. That's pretty cool. All right, I'm just going to go through a question that we had higher up. I promised I answered it. Laura, would you like to read it?
Yeah,
this one right here.
To it. Okay.
You do the last name. I'm not.
Okay, so Heshan. I'm not doing the last name. Let's just go with the first names. I don't want to offend anyone by mispronouncing their names. So Heshan on YouTube on the live chat has just asked, hello, tomorrow I'm planning to go to Christchurch for 4 days. Is there any special places, must-visit places, to go outside of the city?
Oh, yes, outside of the city is exactly what you have to do in Christchurch. Yeah, Laura, do you want to get started? What about we give him like 3 each that we like?
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, there's one that springs to my mind straight away, which is Akaroa. And Akaroa is a peninsula that's just off the side of Christchurch. I think the drive to get there is maybe between 1 to 2 hours to get over there. But once you get over there, it is like a whole different world to Christchurch. there's a lot. It's mostly famous for its wildlife. So you can go on boat trips. You can see Hector dolphins, which are the smallest type of dolphins in the world. And you can go and do dolphin swimming or any sort of cruise. Really, you're bound to see dolphins. So that whole Akaroa Harbour, where the town is based just off the side of, that whole body of water is just full of wildlife. And another wildlife you can go see over there are the little blue penguins, because they have the largest little blue penguin colony in the world or something over there. So there's opportunities to go and do little penguin tours and go and see them jumping onto the shore as the sun's going down. So it really is a wildlife mecca over there. But on the other hand, there's also a lot of different things to do there, like hikes. And it's also dubbed the French capital of New Zealand, because it was a French settlement to start with. So you can see a lot of sort of like French history and things over there as well. So there's a lot of different things to see. You'll definitely be kept busy for the whole time that you're there.
Yeah, definitely one of the best road trip out of Christchurch is definitely Akaroa.
Yeah.
Another one that a lot of people don't consider as a road trip out of Christchurch is Kaikoura. For example, just earlier on during this live chat, we did talk about ending a trip in Christchurch. But it doesn't mean you can't visit Kaikoura. You can definitely just take a short drive. How long is the drive to Kaikoura? About an hour and 20 minutes, something like that?
I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I'd say between an hour and 2 hours.
Yeah,
so Akaroa.
It's a rather short drive to go to Kaikoura, and it's another wildlife mecca. I mean, this is one of the best places to see whales. There is absolutely amazing, big, huge bird like seabirds, which is so awesome to see.
Albatross.
An amazing seal colony that you can see and even swim with them, which is quite amazing. Kaikoura is definitely an amazing place to visit, and it's one of my favorite things to do, ascending around the Christchurch area for sure.
Yeah. So another one could be, you can either drive yourself, or there's actually tours doing this. But if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, or just appreciate really good mountain scenery, then going to Edarus or Mount Sunday, which is in the Ashburton Lakes area. It's about a 2-hour drive out of Christchurch, and you can take tours over there, which they have like Lord of the Rings props and things. If you are a big Lord of the Rings nerd, you can go take some pictures with Mount Sunday, which is Edarus. And also you can actually self-drive and get over there yourself and do the walk up Mount Sunday, and just that whole area is really beautiful. And I think there's even a campground over there as well if you're interested in camping. So that's another option.
Yeah, that's definitely another really cool option. Now, if you're into surfing, is it New Brighton Beach, right? That's the name of it?
Yeah.
So there's New Brighton Beach. So it's not necessarily really far out of the city, but it's rather cool. You could even go by bus, I think.
It's kind of like a suburb of Christchurch, but it still feels pretty far away from Christchurch.
It's kind of an outer suburb of Christchurch, and there's a massive pier that's going straight away in the water, and they have a lot of really even kind of waves, so they're very long and linear. So it's great for beginners, beginner surfers.
Yeah.
So it's one of the hotspots for beginning surfing in Christchurch. So I think that's a really cool thing to do as well from outside of Christchurch.
Yeah, if you're looking for more, if you're actually into surfing, there's lots of different surf options around Christchurch. So there's a famous place called Taylor's Mistake, which is meant to be a more secluded area and really good for surfing. And there's also Sumner Beach. We actually visited that on one of our videos, which we'll link up in the description after this video. But on Sumner Beach, that's a really good surf spot. But it's also a really good place to just go visit, even if you don't want to do surfing. You can go get an ice cream, walk along the beach. There's little caves at the end of the beach which you can go explore. So that's a cool place to check out as well.
Cool, that's a really nice one. And then I'm going to talk about a very obvious one. I mean, it's not necessarily a road trip out of Christchurch, but it's definitely a must-see when you're in the Christchurch area, and it's doing the TranzAlpine train. I've definitely got to see this train ride. It's one of the top 10 most beautiful train ride in the world. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it starts in Christchurch and goes all the way across the South Island to Greymouth. So you can either do it as a one-way trip, and then you're out of Christchurch, and then you explore the other side of the South Island, which is the West Coast, or you can do it as a day trip, which is a back and forth trip. It's definitely worth doing. It's really awesome. And I will actually really, if you are 4 days in Christchurch, definitely put that on my list. I cannot emphasize how awesome that is. So that's about 6 things for you to do, Eshan, if you are in Christchurch for 4 days. So we basically gave you way too much choice, but hopefully you have something that that you like in there. If that's what you were looking for, just let us know. You're right here live chat, so tell us if it's actually what you wanted to hear. If you have any follow-up questions, make sure to tell it to us. And if you guys are watching a rerun of this video, make sure to put your questions in the comment below so we can get to it next week.
For sure.
All right. We have another question right here. Cool. Eshan is happy with this answer.
Sweet.
Hey, Toby Rama. How are you doing? Do we consider ourselves Kiwis yet? Honestly, New Zealand is such a welcoming country. They definitely make us feel Kiwi already. So I personally, you know what? I'll say I'm Kiwi. I'm Kiwi with a very funny accent. I'm like the black ducklings of the Kiwis.
The black sheep of Kiwi town.
Yeah, that's definitely that. Cool. So we had another question. I think that was Rugby Lover. I need to find it. Yeah, so that's a bit of conundrum, this one. I don't think it's a fully fledged answer that he needs, but he basically comes in July 2019 and he wants to do either Coromandel or White Island. He can't do both. Which one?
Ooh.
I'll give you my take on it, and then you can go for it if you want. So if you're on the budget, you go to Coromandel because most of the activities are either just a walk, going to Cathedral Caves and all of that, or a kayaking trip, which is much cheaper. And if you do actually have enough funds to actually take yourself a beautiful boat trip or even a helicopter ride to White Island, then you go for there because it's absolutely spectacular. I mean, that's not often that you're going to be able to go to an underwater volcano in your life. So I would actually consider budget just because the trip to White Island is extremely expensive, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique experience.
Exactly. So that's basically my take on it. I would look just straight away at budget. So yeah, that would be my take on it. Rugby Lover 81. What about you?
I think it really depends what sort of scenery you're looking for. Obviously, Coromandel is all about the beaches. So if you are really into the coast and the beaches, and the Cathedral Cove, which has like white cliffs and things like that, then go for the Coromandel. But personally, I feel like White Island is more of a unique experience that you're not going to get to experience many other places in the world. So I think, me personally, I would jump on the opportunity to go to White Island because it is so different from anywhere else. Even compared to the other volcanoes that you find around New Zealand, like Ruapehu or Nauahoe, where you do the Tongariro crossing, it feels completely different to that, and it's a lot more active. So yeah, personally, I'd go for the more unique experience, which is White Island.
Yeah. All right, so now that we did confuse you, Rugby Lover 81, tell us which one you're going to choose.
Yeah.
Since you're here on the live chat, we want to know. All right, cool. A couple of extra people have joined us. Welcome on board, Hassan. Welcome on board, Dale Page. Dale is arriving in a week. So we have Lizzie in the live chat right now, which is arriving in 11 days. Yeah. Dale arriving in a week. Everybody's coming. I like it. That's really awesome.
Okay.
So let's go through Dale's question. What about that? So Dale Page on YouTube asks, "Hey peeps, I'm coming to New Zealand next week. What should I expect over Christmas and New Year's?" Well, you can expect something very different than you used to in the Northern Hemisphere, that's for sure. Do you want to get started?
Yeah, well, in terms of how busy the New Zealand is, you are coming to New Zealand at probably the busiest time of the year, because bearing in mind that not only is New Zealand really popular for international travelers coming to get some sun over Christmas, but also the locals are all off work and obviously school holidays and stuff. So that is pretty much the busiest time to be at least traveling around the country and doing, tourist activities and stuff. It will be pretty busy.
It's the busiest. It's the perfect storm of business. You've got school holidays. You've got all the Kiwis traveling around. It's summer holidays as well.
Yeah.
Plus, it's the busiest touristic time because everybody in Northern Hemisphere have holiday time and they want to come during our summer. So it's you can expect it to be very busy. That's the first point.
But more over the actual Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. Obviously, like most places in the world that celebrate Christmas, it's going to be like a lot of shops and stuff are going to probably be shut. So you get your supplies before then. In terms of Christmas celebrations and things, it really depends where you end up basing yourself. If you're maybe from hostels or accommodations, accommodations will usually put on something Christmassy for their guests.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that to do. But usually how Kiwis, like people living in New Zealand, would celebrate Christmas is just hanging out with their family and things, going to the beach, having a barbecue. They usually do more like summery activities because, of course, December is summer in New Zealand, so it's a summer Christmas vibe.
I mean, another good thing to do for Christmas. I mean, we are big advocates of especially if you come here as on a working holiday visa, is to work or do some work for accommodation around Christmas time. Just because everything is going to be so busy, it's a great time for you to kind of like just settle, learn a little bit about the New Zealand culture. Especially if you do some woofing, which is work for accommodation. You are already living with the Kiwi family, so it's great. You know, they're usually going to invite you for Christmas. It's a very kind of welcoming time of the year. Ho ho ho. So definitely that's how I would see it. There's another thing you can be doing on the Sunday before Christmas. You can watch our next live stream.
Christmas special live stream. Tune in next week.
We actually got ourselves on Christmas hats, so Santa's hats and anything. So in short, for Christmas, expect everything to be rather full. So make sure you book quite ahead and expect it to be very sunny. It won't really feel like Christmas. I mean, you know, it takes a while to get used to, you know, a Christmas on the beach. It's so different. But
and everything is decorated with, you know, your traditional Christmas decorations with snow and things. But obviously it is summer, so Christmas looks a little bit out of place in New Zealand. But that's all part of the charm.
If you're looking for the smell of the Christmas tree, that won't happen because obviously it's summer here, so you don't get Christmas trees, so they're all artificial. So some of them are clever. They put the smell stuff from the car. They hide it inside the tree, but that's pretty much it. Anyway, for New Year's Eve, let's move on to New Year's Eve. Same, it's very similar. You know, everything is going to be quite busy. The celebrations are usually happening on the beach. There is quite a few festivals, but that's something you're going to need to book rather early. So if you want to head to a festival for New Year's Eve, literally this week is the week where you buy your tickets. And this is not the week where you're going to get the best deal because, well, it's a bit late. But this is when you buy your tickets right here and you sort out your transportation and accommodation. So New Year's Eve, usually, so either people spending on the beach, you know, with friends and family and, you know, drinking and having fun, or they would go to festivals and those kind of things.
And remember that, again, because it is summer, during New Year here, it kind of feels like a big summer festival, kind of like what you would find in Europe, or maybe I've never been to a festival in the US, but I assume a festival in the US where it's like the summer festival vibe, but it's at New Year as well, so it is an extra celebration.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So but there's also some free New Year's celebrations you can go to. Some of the bigger cities will host fireworks and things, especially in Wellington, Christchurch, and Auckland. They'll have big fireworks displays, so you can.
I think they're having one in Queenstown this year, actually.
And Queenstown, well, pretty much like most large towns will have some sort of celebration. So there's definitely some free things to go to as well if you want to check out how New Zealand celebrates New Year as well.
Yeah, which is quite cool. I mean, we are definitely really adventurer, more like it. So we're not necessarily into like, you know, getting completely drunk at New Year's every year. So, you know, there is some like really fun feelings to be had if you actually decide to go on a hike for New Year's, or, you know, you get yourself.
Or wake up like go and do a hike to one of the Department of Conservation huts. There's like overnight huts you can stay in on some multi-day hikes, and then you can wake up in a beautiful landscape on your first day of the new year. So that's like, there's some cool things you could think of.
But if you do have your own vehicle, because you're arriving so soon, Dale, you're literally arriving next week. If you're gonna find your own vehicle, or if you can make your way around, and you want a story to tell for years to come, I will definitely head toward the east coast of the North Island. This is where the first sunrise in the world happened. So that means that, you know, because there is the time zone, the international dateline, right? So on the east coast of New Zealand, this is the first sunrise every single year. So you will be able to get there. You know, you have a bit of a hike. We linked up to a video below that goes to a lighthouse, and it's a bit of a hike. It's very short, actually. It's
a lot of stairs to climb, but it takes maybe about 15 minutes or something.
Exactly. So it's rather short. You go up there, and you are going to be sitting right here, and you're going to watch the first sunrise of 2019. Honestly, how cool is that? You're going to be with a handful of people, because the East Cape of New Zealand is really not that well populated, and most people anyway are going to be really hungover, so they're probably going to be asleep right here. So you can literally tell your kids, your friends, for so many years that you were about one out of, let's say, 1,000 people that have watched the first sunrise of 2019, and I think that's really amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. So we've done it. It's really awesome. It's a great place on New Zealand as well. It's a great place to explore. So I feel like if you want something truly unique, yes, there are festivals, yes, there are parties, yes, you can watch fireworks in the cities, but you know, you can do that in many places. But watch the first sunrise of the year, I think you can only do that in New Zealand. So that's personally what I would do.
Boom.
Yeah, hey yo,
I like
drop
that.
the mic. Cool. So that's basically our take for New Year's and Christmas time in New Zealand. We obviously are going to be answering more of those questions next week, because that's going to be just right before Christmas. So we know those questions are coming up. So tune in next week if you want to see more of that. Check out all the link below on BackpackerGuide.NZ. We do have where to spend New Year's in New Zealand, and we also have where to spend Christmas in New Zealand. So head on to BackpackerGuide.NZ or check the link that we're going to put below. I think that's going to be the right, you know, the right move for you to get all the information you want.
Yeah.
All right, Dale, is this the answer you wanted? Did you get anything from this one? Give us a like, give us a subscribe, any of that if you did, and any follow-up in the comment below. All right, saying hi to a few more people in the live chat. Hassan, did I say hi to Hassan?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Radical Bill asked us if we support the German Empire. We are in New Zealand. I think Radical Bill is on the wrong channel. Hey, look at that. You get a shout out.
We welcome everyone here, no matter what your views are.
I think it was supposed to go to the History channel. It just clicked on the wrong feed.
Obvious mistake to me.
All right, is there any extra questions right here? If you were asking a question and we didn't go through it, that means we probably missed it out. So just ask the question again if we missed it. I'm sorry, I can't see anything too crazy right here. Editor, do not bring a winter coat. You don't need a winter coat at this time of the year. You
just
need a rain jacket. So you're going to bring a rain jacket and a couple of wool layers, so that you can take off some layers when you get hot and put them back when it gets cold.
And put them in your backpack.
Exactly.
A little day pack.
You get a lot of flexibility right here, so that's pretty good. All right, cool. We're going to go through a question that we received beforehand while you guys are coming up with new things to ask us in the live chat, if you do. Also, tell us where you guys are from. There's so many people right now. Dale, where are you from? Radical Bill, where are you from? Lizzie, I know where you're from. Rugby Lover, where are you from? Everybody, Hassan, where are you from? Tell us where you're from in the live chat. All right, cool. So on Facebook, we had Ariel that asked, I'm coming to New Zealand for 3 months and I want to know where to buy a car for a road trip and how long does it usually takes? You go.
Yeah. So yeah, there's loads of different places that you can buy a car from. First place you can buy a car from is off dedicated Facebook car buy and sell groups. We actually have a couple of really awesome Facebook groups that a lot of people are using. So we'll actually link those in the description after this video. So a lot of people are posting their used cars and their backstory and all the information that you need, and they're really good to browse through. Yeah, so that's one thing. And another place you can find cars is usually on hostel notice boards. People are usually pinning up if they've got a car for sale, or even some hostels, especially around the Auckland area, will have full binders full of cars for sale. So that's another good place to have a look at. Another really good option is some rental car companies or rental camper van companies do a buyback scheme where you can actually take one of their, I think, older model cars, which is still like really well maintained because they have been rental cars, and you can actually buy them for a selected period, and you decide when you're going to, you and the company decide together when you're going to take the car back, and then you will sell it back to the company. So that's a really sort of easy option to do because that's a quick one. And yeah, there's also roadside sales. So you'll see a lot of cars on the side of the road for sale, and they're sort of all over the place. And there's a few towns which have select areas where it's like, this is the road you go down to find cars for sale. So yeah, that's another option as well. So that's, yeah, hostels, Facebook, rental car buyback schemes, and roadside sales.
Cool. And now, how long does it take? Now, the whole process is actually quite straightforward, but you want to do it properly, right? There's a lot of lemon in New Zealand. So lemon means it's kind of a car that can look all right, but it's probably going to last only a couple of extra weeks, right? And that does happen really often. So I'm not going to go in depth on the car buying process because, well, you know, I'm going to link you to BackpackerGuide.NZ again. We have a whole section about buying a camper van, and we have so many articles in them. All of those things that you're seeing right here are different articles about buying a car in New Zealand. We go through everything. We've done that with mechanics. It is so handy. It's so thorough. So make sure you follow them. There's like step by step, which is really cool. But in short, the buying process, you need to do obviously a search. You need to search and try to find the car that you like and contact the buyer and try to arrange a meeting point so you can look at the car. So, you know, that's the whole process that Laura just talked about. And then you need to obviously do a car inspection. Now, the car inspection, you want to do a little bit yourself, you know, just to make sure that it's okay. You want to do a test drive as well of the car, and you want to actually get a proper car inspection with a mechanic. Now, you can go and bring the car to the mechanic and get an inspection. There is something called a warrant of fitness, or WOF, in New Zealand, but it's just a few check boxes. So if you buy a car that has a valid WOF, which no matter what, it has to have a valid WOF to be sold to you, it does not mean that the car is mechanically sound at all. Trust us, we lived through that. If you guys watch our videos, we have had so many issues with some vehicle that we bought. Oh my God. So
with one vehicle that we bought.
Yeah, that's true. This one vehicle, but there was so many issues with this one vehicle. Anyway, so yeah, watch the videos. You'll find it. Now, so you want to do a thorough car inspection. It is definitely worth spending the few, the 100 and also a few odds dollars for doing the thorough inspection, because you're gonna know if the car will last the distance, and it's so important, especially if you're coming here for 3 months. You know, you say you're coming here for 3 months. You won't have that much time to waste around. You're gonna want to make the most of your trip. You won't have time to have a car breaking down on you, waiting for the mechanic to repair it or try to sell it, get something else. You won't have time to mess around with that. So you make sure you do the car inspection. Then you want to do a few paperworks. Now, they are incredibly easy to do. You basically just show up at the post office and just hand over like a couple of pieces of paper from one to the other.
So that's just basically changing the ownership of the car is just a quick form to fill out.
Now, that's something that needs to be done within about, I think it's 5 working days of the car being handed out. So let's say you buy the car on the weekend, which does happen because, you know, some people are going to sell you the car when it's working and all those kind of things. So if that happens, you can definitely head to the post office a little later on and do it. So if you buy a car on the Sunday, you can definitely show up at the post office on the Monday or on the Tuesday. There's no need to panic with that. You still have the right to drive the car. If you've been caught by the police or anything like that, they will know. You just get the car, so you just tell them that, and you just have to, put the situation in order. So don't panic about that too much. Then you want to sort out your insurance. Again, insurance is not mandatory in New Zealand. We actually have answered a few questions about insurances that we're going to link in the comments below. So you want to sort out insurances or not, it's up to you. Articles on BackpackerGuide.NZ, boom, in the comment below. Video about that, boom, in the comment below. You all sorted. And then you can head on the road and enjoy your road trip. So it's not really a long process, right? We're talking about it for a long time, but buying a car, as long as you find a car that you like, let's say, if you're going to want to see a few cars on the ranch to see with the sellers and all of that, so probably going to take you, let's say, about a week. Yeah. Okay, that's what I would say.
If you are super dedicated, or obviously you spend your time actually finding the car, you can definitely do it within a week. But I think some people also, they try and find a car in between doing other things, and that's when it takes usually a couple of weeks to do. So yeah, it really depends. If you are dedicated to getting a car straight away, then you'll definitely be able to get it within a week.
Definitely. But the thing that actually going to take you the most time is to sell that car back. This is something that you cannot underestimate at all. So I would strongly recommend to give yourself a couple of weeks to be able to sell your car. There's going to be a lot of sellers that are going to faff about, like you're going to do to people you're going to buy the car back. You're going to want to see one car, then you're going to see another one, then you can make a decision later, and all of that. So the selling the car process is usually the longest. So this is going to take you 2 weeks, or you slash the price down. I've seen some people doing that, and they say, you know what, 2 weeks of my trip, those are life experiences. I want to travel in New Zealand as much as I can, and they keep themselves only 1 week to sell the car, but they slash the price. They bought the car for 3,000, they sell it for 1,500. They're like, it's not worth the money for me. I want to sell it, give a bargain to someone and get on with it and get on with my trip. So that's really up to you, but usually if you want to get around your money back, you're going to need about 2 weeks or sometimes even a little bit more. It depends on the season. In summer, it's going to be much easier to sell your car. In winter, it's going to be much harder because there is less tourists around. So keep that in mind. You're coming here for 3 months. We are allocating about 3 weeks of your trip into this whole car buying process and everything else.
A way to cut that down, though, I know I keep banging on about these buyback schemes, but if you do a bit of research into the different car rental companies that do buyback schemes, you can definitely cut the amount of time that it takes, like, because they have the cars ready for you, and you already have someone to sell it to at the end of your trip as well. So that would just literally take maybe about 3 days at the beginning of your trip and 1 day at the end of your trip. So that's another way around it. But the downside of that is that you're maybe not likely to get as good of a bargain as you would if you used other ways of finding a car to buy and other ways to, sell back later. So yeah.
All right, cool. So I hope that this answered your question, Ariel. That was our take on buying a car in New Zealand, the length that it takes, the length of time that it takes, and if it's a good idea. So yeah, if you did like this video, if anyone of you guys liked the video, make sure to hit the like button, to hit subscribe, and to put any of your questions in the comment below, and check out in the comment below as well for a bunch of links just as follow-ups on that.
Yeah.
All right, heading back to live chat. Welcome on board, King. Do we have kids? No, we don't have kids.
No.
We're too busy to have kids, and there's too much to explore around New Zealand to have time to mess up with that just yet. Cool. So someone is asking about Napier. So what about that? So Hassan on YouTube is asking, is Napier a good place for living? So basically, what do we like about Napier?
Okay.
Laura, what do you like about Napier?
Well, Napier is a very different city to other cities in New Zealand. It has a really awesome Art Deco architecture theme going on in the whole city, which actually makes it look really like visually appealing. Like, it's just a really nice environment to be in. It's got lots of beaches nearby. So if you are really into the coast, if you're really into quirky and different architecture, then Napier is definitely a nice place to live in. Also, it is in the middle of this huge wine region. So if you're really into your wines and a lot of like fine dining and stuff like that, then there's also that option as well. And on the work side of things, there's a lot of different work opportunities as well. If you want to go there on a working holiday or something, they have a lot of picking jobs, which is usually very easy to get. On top of all the usual like hospitality jobs, and what other jobs are there? Retail. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff you could be doing there if you wanted to stay there a little bit more long term.
Yeah, one good thing about Napier is that, really often you're going to see the word Napier Hastings. So you cannot get the advantage of kind of two cities. They're basically two, they're not cities, they're towns. Are they? I don't know.
I think they're cities.
Okay, city.
Yeah.
So you basically get two cities that have grown to almost be like so close together that they are they're basically just one place. So you get the advantage of two cities in one, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
And gives you a lot of things to do there, which is really awesome. Plus, on top of that, it's actually located in a really cool place on the north end. Do you want to show them where it is?
Oh, yeah.
So it's located in a really cool place on the north end and making it very easy to access other parts. I really like the kind of the center of the North Island right here, because you can drive and it's going to take you about 2 to 2.5 hours and you're down to Wellington. You can go explore all the central North Island, that's Taupo, Turangi, and all of that. And that's how long is the drive? About an hour and a half?
Yeah.
So about an hour and a half, and you can explore all that. And then if you want to go to Rotorua, it's about 2 hours. Is that not? Let's say 2.
Maybe 3 hours.
Okay, 3 hours. Yeah. 3 hours to Rotorua right here, and you can explore all the beautiful escape right here. And the drive, starting at the beginning of the escape is going to be about an hour and a half. So you get to explore like so much of the North Island within just day trips. Because even if we say the longest that I just mentioned right now, which is Rotorua, it's only 3 hours. You wake up at 7. You start driving, you're there at 10. You can definitely have a lot of fun. You can stay there until like at least 5 o'clock. And at 5 o'clock, you drive back and you're back home at 8. So you can actually have a day trip to Rotorua very easily, which is amazing. I mean, I really love that.
Yeah, Napier is definitely an underestimated town, I'd say. Like, not many people would think to stay there, but there's actually loads of opportunities for like keeping yourself busy and seeing some really amazing places.
Did you talk about the Garnet colony or not yet?
Not yet,
Okay,
no.
so on top of that, it has amazing wildlife, like really amazing. There is the gannet colony in Cape Kidnappers, and it's so amazing. It's one of my favorite places on the North Island. You arrive on this beautiful ledge cliff, and you can see gannets everywhere. Now you have to time your hike to get there with the tide, but it takes you, let's say, about 5 hours. You have to be rather fit. It's pretty.
It's a long way, yeah.
It's a long way, but it's really awesome. Or you can go with Beach Gannet Adventures, which is a trip that takes you in a tractor along the way, so it makes it less strenuous. It's really fun. Yeah, we have a video about that in the comments below. Sorry, in the description below. We're going to link to it when we repost this video, or just search Gannet Colony into our channel. It's a really, really awesome things to do in Napier, and there's plenty more. I mean, Laura mentioned the wine. Again, I can't understate how crazy about their wines the Kiwis are.
Yeah,
there's really a lot of things. There is also there's beer microbrewery.
Yeah, there's loads of different foodie experiences like that. So there'll be breweries to go to, maybe even distilleries.
Yeah.
And like honestly, there's like so much stuff to do there, and because it is such a big like sort of fruit production area, a lot of people are like selling their fresh produce. You'll see fresh produce stands all over the roadsides, and then they have the famous Hawke's Bay Farmers Market.
Yeah, we have a video about that as well in the comment below.
So you can go and pick up some cheap fruit and vegetables and try some new things, because they have lots of free tastings. So yeah, there's lots of foodie experiences like that as well.
And I'll wrap up by saying that Napier also has a very reasonable cost of living. You know, you compare with Auckland, it's about, you're gonna basically, your everyday life will cost you about half than what it costs you in Auckland.
Yeah.
Just on rent and all of that. So definitely Napier. From Laura and from I, it gets a thumbs up. Speaking of thumbs up, what about you hit that thumbs up below the video? Wow, what a segue.
Amazing transition.
But yeah, no, definitely a really awesome place to live in, Napier. So if you have a chance to actually spend a few months in Napier, should you be working, studying, just traveling, I would definitely do that. I don't know much about universities and any of that, but yeah, Napier, hell yes. Anyway, do you have any follow-up question, Hassan? Was it what you wanted to hear about Napier? Yeah, just tell us in the comment below. We can't wait to hear from you. But yeah, pretty awesome. Now, a couple of really short questions in the live chat. Toby Rama is asking about Marmite. Actually, if you watched the video we did last week about, 2 weeks ago about the best food in New Zealand, you can hear our take on Marmite. But basically, I hate it. I cannot tell you how bad Marmite tastes. So
they either say you love it or you hate it, and for us, we hate it.
Yeah, so our tips is, to any travelers which are about to come to New Zealand in the next few days, we're talking to you, Lizzie, to you, Dale. Guys, you will be offered Marmite at some point in your trip. You're going to want to try it because you think, oh, it's typical Kiwi. I want to try it. It's an experience. Just don't do it. Guys, just trust me. I'm looking at you in the eyes right now. Just trust me. Don't try the Marmite. It's awful. Anyway, just that. Favorite New Zealand sweets and confectionery. Oh, that's cool.
Shall we make that a question?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. All right. Toby Rama asks on YouTube our favorite and New Zealand sweets and confectionaries.
All right.
Go for it. Laura is the
the candy expert.
She's the mentor in the couple right here, so she'll take a lot of that. Actually, I want to start because I have one.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, otherwise she's going to take it from me. So I want to start, and I want to say that I love Whittaker's chocolate, right? Yeah. This brand of chocolate is a Kiwi brand, and they make absolutely amazing thing. Now they have a lot of different kind of like premium collections and flavors, like Hawke's Bay pears and Satsuma mandarins and chocolate and everything. So those things are kind of like, they're okay and they make some really good gifts. But honestly, the good ones are like milk and almonds and milk and hazelnuts.
Fruit and nuts. And I love fruit and nut.
You're fruity and nutty. Nuts, fruit and nuts and chocolate.
That's good.
And dark chocolate, all of that. So yeah, so Whittaker's chocolate, like the basic ones, are really awesome. There's another one which makes also for an awesome gift is the LNP one, because the LNP is a New Zealand soda.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so they put flavor of that in the chocolate blocks, which is quite cool. So yeah, so that's definitely hands down my favorite. I know it's a little bit like boring, classic, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just good chocolate. Yeah. You have to try it, and it's available in any supermarket. So pick up a block. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Anyway, more candy. So yeah, New Zealand is really crazy about their candy, really proud of the candy that they sell here. And one of the things they're really proud of is something called chocolate fish, which isn't as weird as it sounds, actually. It's just a marshmallow that is shaped like a little fish, but coated in chocolate. And if you go on like quite a few like adventure tours where they have snacks involved halfway through the tour, they will probably offer you chocolate fish as a sort of boost to keep you going. So that's always really cool. And another candy that New Zealanders really love is something called pineapple lumps. So this is sort of like a pineapple jelly center coated in chocolate. And that is a thing where you, again, like Marmite, you either love it or you hate it. So some people really love it, but I think for me, I'm a little bit not quite sure on the pineapple lumps. Do you like pineapple lumps?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's okay, right? It's sweet and stuff, but I'm not really into all the fuss around it. There is something which is really kind of interesting as a candy. It's called Jaffa.
Yeah.
So Jaffas are basically about yay big. And they are hard-coated candies. The coating is like bright orange, and I think it's supposed to taste like orange, but I never actually got that taste.
No.
I just so it's supposed to taste like orange, and inside it's really hard chocolate, and it tastes really awesome. And they're so proud about it that actually every year in Dunedin, which is down on the South Islands, they actually toss a massive amount of Jaffas, and that's called a Jaffa race. So on each of the little candy, they put a number, and people can buy a number as a kind of like a lottery, and then toss it down the steepest street in the country.
Baldwin Street,
yeah, and it all goes down, and the first little Jaffa ball that goes down is the one that wins the prize. It's kind of like there's literally a festival all around that that little candy. So that's definitely kind of a big one, that's for sure.
Yeah. Another thing that I think it's also available in Australia, and it's sort of spreading to other countries more now. But what's the little biscuits called? Tim Tams.
Tim Tams, yeah.
Yeah. So a really popular biscuit in New Zealand is Tim Tams, and what people like to do, well, it's two biscuits with a little bit of soft chocolate in the middle, and what people like to do is bite the end of each end of the chocolate, put it in their tea, and suck the tea up through the biscuit like a straw, which can really turn into a big mess, and then you end up dropping your biscuit in your tea, and it's like disaster. But yeah, it's that's a really like a thing that all Kiwis are always really like proud to show you, like, look at this little trick I can do with my Tim Tam.
Yeah,
so that's another thing. I think Hokey Pokey as well.
Yeah, Hokey Pokey. So Hokey Pokey is more like a flavor, more than anything else. So Hokey Pokey is basically some honey that you kind of let harden. So you kind of dry it, or I don't know how you do, but you let it harden.
Heat it up or something until it's like a honeycomb.
Yeah. So so you have a slab of honey which is really hard, and then you kind of like hit it with a hammer, smash it, and you get like bits of honey on everything. So you're gonna get Hokey Pokey in ice cream. So you have vanilla ice cream with Hokey Pokey in it, which is basically smashed up honey in it. You have chocolate with Hokey Pokey. You actually can find the Whitakers with Hokey Pokey. So go for that. I love it. So yes, you get milk chocolate in which you have a lot of honey in it. So that's a really cool thing. That's a really cool sweet to have. Now I know it's not really a sweet, but it's a sweet thing. So I quickly mentioned LNP. So I just want to tell you a little bit about what that is. So LNP is kind of like the New Zealand soft drinks. L stands for lemon, and P stands for Pairora. Pairora is a town about like an hour and a half south of Auckland, and in there, this is where they do the LNP. They say that it makes the whole drink taste better because the water
the spring water
water from Pairora tastes much better. Now, it's kind of a very, very tasty lemonade. Think about Sprite as being a watered down lemonade with literally just sugar and water, and think about LNP being like old version lemonade, right? It tastes really strongly like lemon, and it has those bubbles, it has all those things, and yeah, that's basically what
I think it's definitely worth trying LMP. Like that's literally the only soft drink I go for now since being in New Zealand. Like once you try LMP, you're like, why isn't this everywhere else in the world?
It actually does taste really awesome.
Yeah.
Now, sweet-wise, if I want to talk about things which are a little bit more obscure, things that you're not going to find really everywhere, there is a chocolate factory in New Zealand called Makana. Yeah. So they have a shop in Blenheim, and they have a shop all the way in Northland, near
Kerry.
Kerry, which is near Pahia in the Bay of Islands. Now they do all their chocolate handmade. We visited them actually during our New Zealand's biggest gap year, when we challenged ourselves to do 365 activities in only 365 days. We actually made a point of visiting both of their locations because they're really awesome chocolates. When you visit their factory, they actually have samples and everything like that. You can watch them make the chocolate, which is quite cool. It's really awesome. It's some of the really good New Zealand sweets. Do you have another one? Do I keep going?
You can.
Okay. As sweets as well. I want to talk about honey. New Zealand is world famous for its honey. So I know it's not the sweet and the confectionery, but I love honey. I genuinely do love that. If I have a choice between a Snicker bar and some honey,
a pot of honey.
I would literally just be Winnie the Pooh and start stuffing myself with honey. And New Zealand does make some of the best honey in the world, especially the Manuka. Sorry about that. I know that word. The Manuka honey. The Manuka honey is so delicious. Seriously, so good.
And has so many medicinal terms.
Yeah, and apparently it cures everything. Like, you hear some people saying that they have burns and then you cure them, and then they have this and they cure them. So it cures everything. It's a prized position here. And so definitely when you're in New Zealand, if you get the time to try some Manuka honey, that would be really awesome. So that's basically some of our favorite sweets. We probably forgot something. If you guys have some sweet that you liked in New Zealand, just make sure you put them in the comment below. We may just do another video just adding all of you.
We can always talk about sweets. We can talk about sweets forever.
Yeah, definitely. Then I start thinking about some extra one, like the Kiwi poo, those tourist kind of like stuff. You can buy a bag of like Kiwi poo, which are literally just chocolate droppings, and that's a really funny souvenir to bring from back home. So really awesome stuff. Ton of confectionaries, ton of sweets in New Zealand, and that's really cool. All right, well, that's going to be concluding our live chat right now. I'm just going to say hi to a couple of people. Hi, Michael. We were really happy to have you on board with us. Hi, Approva. Thank you very much for joining us. I think I mentioned everybody in the live chat. We are so thankful for you guys joining us every week. We will be back here next week, and we show people when we're going to be back. So we will be back. Next week, 8 a.m. Sunday, New Zealand time, which is Saturday. Saturday for you guys. Saturday, USA, 3 p.m. EDT, 12 p.m. PDT. Europe, Saturday, 9 p.m. And India, 12:30 a.m. On Saturday or Sunday in India. Just check it out.
That's Saturday in India.
Saturday in India. All right, cool. And just a quick follow-up on one of the things we discussed today about the Marmite. We actually had Lizzie that went to check on Wikipedia, and Marmite is British. So I have a message from people in the UK. Please come here, grab all your Marmite, and fuck off with it. We don't want it here. God damn, why do you bring the hair? God, awful. You guys are terrible.
Yeah.
So that's my message for people in the UK.
On behalf of everyone in the UK, I apologise for the British bringing that awful stuff to New Zealand.
I hate Marmite so much. I hate it with a passion. Anyway, it's been wonderful having you guys with us today, and thank you again for joining us. We will not be able to do this video without you guys, and if we didn't get to answer your questions, put it in the comment below, put it in the live chat, put it in the comments of any of our videos. Throughout the whole week, we pick all the questions that we're answering every single week from the comments. So make sure to put them in. We are here to help you plan the best trip ever in New Zealand.
Yeah, for sure. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for joining us. We love it.
Thanks for joining.